Have you ever encountered a question that not only puzzled your intellect, but also struck something primal within you? Your body tenses. The room feels quiet, cloaked in smiles and social etiquette. But beneath the surface, your internal alarm rings. Something is off. That discomfort is not paranoia. It's your subconscious whispering, "Be careful." Not all lies are spoken directly. Sometimes, manipulation hides within the question itself. Not in the words, but in the intent behind them. Not to seek truth, but to shape perception, to obscure rather than clarify. Carl Jung believed that language, like all symbols, carries psychic energy. When used unconsciously, it reveals hidden truths. When exploited, it becomes a distorting mirror maze, meant not to reflect, but to confuse. Manipulators know this. They control the narrative not just through answers, but through questions disguised as care. These questions often sound well-meaning, but in truth, they are rhetorical traps, shifting responsibility, manipulating emotions, and rewriting your emotional reality. It sounds like a remark, but it's actually a direct assault on your emotional legitimacy. Instead of addressing the issue, they frame your reaction as the problem. Psychologist Dr. George Simon calls this covert aggression. It's not an outright denial, it's erosion. It forces you to defend your emotions instead of affirming their validity. Jung once said, "People will do anything, no matter how absurd." It sounds vulnerable, but it's manipulation in disguise. This question reverses the issue. Their behavior is no longer the focus. Your lack of trust is. Dr. Harriet Lerner explains that guilt is often used by manipulators to regain control. The conversation shifts to your loyalty rather than their betrayal. Cortisol rises while oxytocin drops. So when asked, "Do you trust me?" ask instead, "Are they facing the truth or avoiding it?" At first, it sounds like confusion, but often, it's an emotional performance. It subtly says, "I don't see my fault, but if you insist, tell me how to apologize." Dr. Brené Brown warns about false vulnerability. It shifts the emotional burden onto you. You must fix what they broke. Jung taught that real growth comes from integrating the shadow, not performing apology roles. This question is an emotional shortcut, a false closure without real confrontation. Remember, it's not your duty to foster the maturity of someone who refuses to face their actions. Forgiveness is sacred, but when demanded prematurely, it becomes a shield for avoidance. Dr. Lundy Bancroft points out that manipulators often rush forgiveness to avoid accountability. They want connection without correction. But true healing requires confrontation. As Jung said, "What we avoid within will return as destiny without." This is the ultimate emotional manipulation. Your boundary is twisted into an act of destruction. Suddenly, you're portrayed as the one ruining everything. But in truth, you're walking away from what no longer respects your value. Dr. Ramani Durvasula reminds us, setting boundaries is not betrayal. It's self-respect. Jung wrote that the journey back to the true self requires separating from attachments that hinder inner growth. So when someone asks, "Are you giving up on this?" ask back, "Are you willing to give up yourself just to keep this?" Manipulators don't just lie. They disrupt perception. Their questions aren't about truth, they're about control. To recognize them, you don't need credentials. You need presence, stillness, and the courage to trust your discomfort. Because behind the charm, the guilt, and the wordplay, your instincts already know. You don't need to explain yourself to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. You don't need to continue conversations designed to drain you. You don't need to answer questions laced with poison wrapped in politeness. You only need to see clearly and walk away with your soul intact. If this resonates with you, share your experience. Let's turn this space into a place for truth, healing, and deep awakening. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Golden Age Wisdom, where we explore the unseen forces shaping human behavior and awaken the quiet strength within you. You are not born to be manipulated. You were born to awaken. And the moment you stop explaining, stop justifying, stop playing a role, is the moment the manipulator loses power.